Okay, so tonight I'm going to work on arguably the uh, most important table of the application, and that is the dividend history table. Uh, so this table, or this is going to be a big portion of the database that holds all of the dividend history for the securities in the stock market. And the reason I'm going to start with this one is because it's arguably the most difficult compared to all of the other ones. And it also is the one that I designed probably in, or that, the design of it is going to be much more straightforward than what exists today in Firestore, just because of the way that Firestore is set up. Or the constraints that it has. So, for example, there's limits on the document size in Firestore. There's limits on the number of things that can be returned at a given time. And so I had to kind of chop things up in the way that they were stored in Firestore. And essentially the way that they're split up is that they're grouped by year. So in Firestore, there is, essentially a document that is the stock symbol, then underscore, and then the year, and then all of the dividends go in there. I couldn't just store them as a, under the stock ticker symbol, because there could be too many in a given document. And if you wanted to do like a kind of like a sub collection or whatever they're called in Firestore, that has some query limitations. So if you'll actually see, if I look at Firestore Dividend, there's like a whole bunch of classes to work through kind of all of this nonsense. And the service itself has all sorts of kind of weird things in it, and I want to get rid of all of these such that it's much more straightforward. And Postgres is going to let me do that because it doesn't have some of those limitations. And so this should make it a heck of a lot easier to just kind of do it in a more straightforward manner. So we're going to start with this one. Probably going to take us more than one stream here, but let's get into it. So, and just a quick recap. Yesterday, we did a stream where basically we set up test containers, right? And we'll use those heavily tonight. So when we run our tests, a Postgres database is spun up in a Docker container such that when we run our database tests, and we'll write a bunch of those tonight, they actually are running against a real database, not, like an in-memory database. So we'll get into this a little bit more. The other thing I did was added a logback test file here. At the end of the stream last time, there was kind of a bunch of garbage and noise in the logs unrelated to, my tests passing or failing. And so this logback XML file just gets rid of a bunch of that. So nothing too exciting there, so I'm not really going to go into that much. But let's get into this this table here. So we need our service and our table. And this is an interface. And we're going to model it, similar to this. There's going to be a table. These will be internal. Probably have a row mapper, and then a public service as well that will get picked up. This is going to be a singleton, and this will be internal. And this is something that I've kind of gotten in the habit of, is making pretty much everything I do internal, unless I really know that it needs to be exposed. And so in Kotlin, internal just means that it can be accessed within the same package across the board, but that it's not necessarily exposed. So this is kind of a nice, call it middle ground, that you can use, and it often helps. For example, this Kotlin will warn you if you mark this as private, and then or things as private, but then you expose them and things like that. So internal is kind of my go-to, if you will. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to be able to do is actually insert things. So I'm going to model this always as a list. So I'm always going to be expecting to insert more than one dividend at a time. And JDBI has a specific interface for doing that. So let's take a look at what that is. Because it's been a while. Updates. Batches. Batch sends many in bulk. Let's find, there's got to be something where it, example of, actually, I think their thing just handles it automatically. So if you pass it a list, it just kind of figures it out. But really, first of all, actually, we need our data class that represents the row, and we also need to write our migration. So let's do that. We're going to have an ID. And actually, we could probably just pretty much steal this and work from here. But this is in data. So this is a common thing I'm going to have to contend with, because this is up at this level. And I was essentially manually going back and forth, but I don't necessarily want to do that. So I'm going to duplicate this for now. But that's in the client. This is going to get a little hairy. Or maybe I can just store those things as a string in the database, which is probably fine. Actually, I think that's what I did here, right? Yeah. Okay, this is fine. So let's grab this guy and just copy it over. And we definitely need an ID. that's going to be nullable. Symbol, we got to have a symbol. Declare date. Okay, so this is where we need to do some interesting things. So this is really going to be a date, because when we get a dividend, it should always have a declared date, but sometimes, for whatever reason from my data provider, it doesn't show up. The X date, this will also be a date. The record date, this is also going to be a date. And this is going to be a date. Then double string description flag frequency. That's good. So now we need to make a migration that matches this. Dividend underscore history. Okay. So we're going to create a table dividend underscore history. Okay, so we want an ID that is a primary key. We are then gonna have a bunch of stuff here. So our symbol is a varchar, and I think the maximum that this thing can be is like 4. But I'll just make it 8. It can't be null. The declared date is a date, and that can be null. So we need X, record, and payments. So this is X date, record, and payments. The amount is double precision. What's the right type for a double? Is it double type? That doesn't make, I don't think I've ever used that. Double precision, 15. Variable precision. I think we just want decimal. Decimal. The default can be 0. Currency. Again, I think the currency is a standard currency code, which first 2 letters of the 3-letter code are the same. Third letter corresponds to the letter of the currency. Okay, so this is only 3 characters. So that's a character. Description. This is text. I don't know how long that's going to be. Flag. I don't remember what that is, but let's make it text. Actually, have I ever even used the flag? What is this flag? This is the data provider I use. It's pretty good. Pretty happy with them. Dividends flag. What does the flag mean, and will I use it? The payment type, yeah, that's pretty useful. Okay. Let's make this varchar 32. And then the frequency will also be varchar 32. It's probably plenty long, but that's okay. And just for oh, yep, that's done. Currency. Let's just default this to USD. Okay. That should be good. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. So then why don't we just get this out of the way? Row mapper. Symbol. Okay, so now, actually, do I want this to be date? So Postgres by default uses ISO date formats. Java SQL has support for date. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Declare X record payments. X record payment. X record and payments amount. Currency. Oops. Flag. Right. Description and then frequency. Did we do frequency? Description flag frequency. Okay. This should be able to take in yeah. This should work. But actually, I'm surprised this is insert query. I would think that this would be update. I have to check this out. I don't remember how this works. So did I do declared? Yeah. Yep. How about that? I think that'll work. Okay, only one way to find out. Let's write a test. Test containers. Let's give it a shot. I'm just going to duplicate this test. Just for now, before we even get to the service, I am gonna just do the table, the raw table. On demand dividend. So dividend history dot insert dividends. Okay. Let's do it this way. It's not actually local date. I hate the Java date stuff. Doesn't Kotlin have better date extensions? They have better things than this. Wait, why won't... Only works with date. Does it only work with date? Really? No, it's got local date. Yeah, so I'll need to change these. Yeah. These all just need to be local date. Oh, no. Hang on. That's not what I wanted. Date question mark, local date question mark. There we go. Okay, that looks better. Oh, but now these don't work. That's funny. Okay. What did I miss? ID. Database should fill that in for us. Let's do more than one. This should return an integer. let's give it a shot. Bind list parameter was not given a name, and the parameter name data is not present in the class file. Okay. My bad. No argument factory registered. You need an argument factory for this? Okay, what are we missing? JDBI insert list. I know I've done this before. I just don't remember how it's done. Actually, didn't I already do this in SQLite somewhere? No, unfortunately, I just insert one at a time. Okay. I do not remember how this works. So what is this saying? No argument factory. Argument factory interface provides argument. I shouldn't have to do this. One task. Oh, you know what? I think I know what's going on. I think this will just work. But it needs to be like this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now that I'm pretty sure that will work. No? Oh, yes. This needs to be default UID Gen 4. Oh, but this isn't going to be passed, so that's no good. All right, this is just going to say, hey, it can't be null. Yeah. Missing parameter symbol. Symbol. Declared date, X date, record date, payment date, amount, currency, description, flag, frequency. That is definitely working. It might actually just be this bind list thing. Yeah, I think. Hmm. SQL update, insert into. Um, Let's take a look through some old code of mine. Yeah. let's just look for list. I highly doubt there is no list in here. Module. Workspace. Okay, that was only one at a time. This is probably only going to be one at a time too, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, what is the trick here, JDBI? Oh, there it is. Okay, SQL batch bind bean. Okay. SQL batch. I shouldn't need bind bean though. That's not exactly what I want, but so it should return void int. Why does it return? Why does it return an array of int? I don't know, but my test is well, it can just be void, I guess. Although I don't know why that wasn't failing. That's weird. That should have been. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want. It's just a batch. Whoa. Something really failed hard. PSQL. Relation. Dividend history does not exist. Okay. Create table of dividend history. Sure does. Well, I guess let's debug this. Maybe there's something wrong with my migration. Yeah, 5432. Oh, but this is gonna be yeah, we gotta connect Postgres dot password. So we need to make a new, no, go away. We need to make a new database. Test containers, localhost test 5432 ExDividend.test, right? Let's do, oh, it's good because it's got a random, yeah. That's not great. If I'm just killing it every time, I don't need to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's just going to get in my way. Okay. Let's see if we can connect. We can't. Test. Refused. 50. Oh, it's new port 55207. Okay. So what is in our database? Only 2 tables. Why is that? V3 underscore, oh, it's renamed incorrectly. Underscore. Okay. Still no table. What? Okay. Let's rebuild the project. Maybe that file isn't getting picked up for some reason. Okay, so this is really not. Yeah, the table is not getting created, so maybe there's something wrong with my table definition, which I would be surprised because I should see something in Flyway if that were occurring for sure. Oh, 55211. Okay. No, that table's there. Dividend has 3. Okay. All right, so we're good. So now what is it complaining about? Oh, it passed. Okay, cool. So we're working. All right. Okay, so now the opposite end of the test will be querying. Select dividends by symbol. And symbol is symbol. And then we will assert equals to Dividend history dot select dividend by symbol. Oh, we'll make them both. This should work. Nope. SQL query writes. Symbol. Why doesn't it like that? The row mapper is there. It's going to return a list of Postgres dividend. Error thrown mapping result set into return type. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is working, but one of these is bad. Let me guess, it's this one. Nope, that's fine. So what is this? Declare date. Yeah, right. This should be the count. And then we could also, but it's got this IDs, so they're not going to be equal. Okay. But we do need to check that the data that is in there is valid. And because we're letting the database create the UUID, well, we could do it this way. Default. We could pass it through if it exists. And if it's not, the database will do it for us. So let's do that, because that'll make our testing a bit easier. Because then we can say, this should work because dividend because data classes automatically get equals with all equals and hash code and all this stuff. So yeah. So if we pass through the ID, that will come through. But if we do null, this is going to fail because the database is going to create the second ID, and then it's going to compare null to, oh, no, it didn't like that. Was aborted. Error null value return. So it doesn't like that. Right, because it can't bind it. I don't like that. That kind of sucks, but that's fine. We will live with that. We can just default this to null, because I'd rather have the database actually create the ID, because it's a single source. And when we run multiple instances of this service, we don't want, there's potential for a clash, very low, but it should be fine. Okay. All right, well, we're going to search by symbol. We are also likely going to also likely to do it by date as well. So basically between two dates. And well, what do we do with the, what do we do in here? Get recent, save recent in the cache. We basically do it from year to year. And we're checking the year, but the year is based off the X date or the record date. Okay, I can believe that. X date is, okay, this is going to be a little funky, but essentially we can do X date is greater than from date, and X date is less than to date, and record date, oops, from date and to date. So this is going to take a bunch of dates here. From date, from to date, right? So this is where things get a little nicer here with Postgres. So let's write a test for this as well. Select dividends by symbol and date. All right, so we need to check the X date and the record date. So I'm going to set the X date to this, and I'm going to set the record date on this one to 2020. And then I'm going to ask for all of the dividends between 2020 and 2021. But this is going to be from, well, if we go from 2020 to 2021, we probably want it to be inclusive, so less than or equal to. So it's from the current date, from 2020 to 2021. So we want inclusive on both ends. Okay. And date. So we really want 2020 to 2021. Right. It's got to be by date. 21-1. So that'll check our inclusiveness. Let's see if that works. Nope. To date and we got a typo somewhere. Space on the end of that guy. Expected to, but I got 0. Okay. Our symbol is this and or. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that works. Okay. So these are, honestly, this is the most important one of all. This is the one that I do the most. Particularly in here, right? Because you're always looking for dividends within a given range. Yield is another one that I'm saving uniquely. From, yeah, that. Okay, so that's another one that we'll need to add, but we don't have to do that a lot. So this is good. I like this. And now we just need to put the nice little service over it. But I'm starting to rethink having a service in here. I don't think we want that because really our data package has the services. So for example, yeah, this thing really needs to be this thing really needs to be up here. Yep. That's stupid. Actually, let me undo this here a second. So in here, this really should be the following. This is really going to be table. And this stuff will go in here as well as this. Right? And then this service is really what's going to be in here. This is what belongs in here. Yeah, this is fine. Right. But now this needs to have a reference to JDBI, but I don't want it to have that. And this doesn't need to be internal. That does. That doesn't. Yes, we will add that dependency. What did that just do to the project, though? That's stupid. I shouldn't have done that. This needs Postgres because this will go away. We'll get all of this, but we won't get JDBI. Right. So then this just really needs this. But really, this just needs core. That's fine. So this should fix that. There you go. So this makes more sense. Why do I have star imports? I should not have star imports. Kotlin optimize. That's fine. Kotlin likes star imports. That's okay. Although, no, I really don't like this. Why? Did they get rid of this code style? Kotlin imports. Yes. Remove that package. Android IOKTOR fine. And this needs to be like 99. I don't want star imports. Okay. So this now can not return this, but we can fix this later. Do not return Postgres object from. So it's fine if this service knows this detail, but it shouldn't expose that. So we need just our normal domain object to be coming from here, which I think we have it like as Apple user somewhere else. Yeah. But that's up in here. Right. So yeah, we will move this down into here. And then this will just be re-imported. And now this will return an Apple user, not that. And we will map Why can't I map? What? This is so weird. Postgres user dot. Oh, well, let's just do it this way. Oops. Internal fun, PostgreSQL user dot to Apple user. Right? Equals this dot. Subject, email. There you go. And then we can just say to Apple user. There you go. So now nothing leaks out of the now, like the details of, you know, Postgres and the database underneath doesn't leak out of the domain service. And we're all good here. So yeah, we're in good shape. All right, I think that's it for tonight. Let's just take a look here. Oh, our tests are definitely gonna fail. Yeah, dots on demand. Sign in with Apple table. And then this is going to be insert user ID select user just ID. Yeah, there we go. So that cleans up our tests. And now if we just run them again from the command lines, just that it runs the entire suite, this should all pass. Did not. We got like just a imports issue going on. Cool, that works. So that's it for tonight. Like I said, this is the dividend service or dividend queries are gonna get a little more interesting here probably in the next stream, but we got a good basis going for what we're doing. And in the next stream, I have a big existing database that I need to figure out how to migrate over. So we might actually get to the point where we maybe deploy this. At least we need a way to see, we need a way to grab all of my existing data that I have, particularly all of the dividend history, and get it into this database so that we can work with it. So maybe that's what we'll do in the next stream. Yeah, made some good progress tonight. should really start to be able to move quickly on this stuff. So we need to redo the service interface to work with this table, which shouldn't be too bad, but that'll be the next thing that we do here. So that's it for tonight. Catch you in the next stream.